Stopping by Classroom Management by Engaging Curiosity. My name is Marion and I'm here to support you in all things classroom management. So I am an outdoor enthusiast. I'm a mother of two. I've been married for 35 years. I am a retired teacher. And I just really felt that this was the next step in my journey because I'm excited to share what I know with other teachers. And so you will notice on my blog, my website, pictures of me in the outdoors. I am passionate about the outdoors. I putter. I like snowshoeing and cross-country skiing and hiking and kayaking and paddleboarding and all of the things, especially the snow things. I love doing all the things, but I putz at all of them. So you will see pictures of me doing that. And I also love to travel. This is my first ever video. I decided to just jump straight in with 2 feet. A little bit off the cuff, but I wanted to give you an idea of who I am and what we're about. My purpose with this is to empower you to take charge in the classroom with your classroom management. And I have to confess, when we talk about what it is and why it's important, when I had to sit back, I love teaching all sorts of subjects, and when I had to sit back and think about what I loved about classroom teaching, I couldn't believe it. It was classroom management. And the truth of that is because I realized that when I'm managing the classroom, everything else is just the kind of opportunity to work with those kids. Teaching them math is just an opportunity to teach them engagement and growth mindset and self-regulation. All of it is just a tool towards what I consider classroom management. And why is it important? Because if you're not managing the classroom, they don't have a safe place, it's chaos, it's how you get them to do what you want them to do. Let me give you an example. My favorite day of teaching, I had kids writing part of a book. I had kids cutting out leaves and paw prints. I had students painting a huge mural on our whiteboard, like huge mural on our whiteboard. Other students were coloring animals, and all of them were taking turns doing different things. And sure, I answered a ton of questions, but I did no management as far as redirections or settling quarrels or getting kids on task, because they were engaged. They knew the expectations. They knew what, how I supported the expectations that they had created. And we had practiced all year towards getting to this goal and knowing how to do our job. So that's why it's important, is because what you want to achieve as a teacher, that's my passion. And so what I wanted to achieve, I had to facilitate my passion through classroom management. And so it affects their learning and your excitement as a teacher. If you never get to teach in a way that you're passionate about, it destroys that calling, because I really do believe that teaching is a calling. And so without it, it will impact your passion for teaching. So I've got kind of 5 pillars. I'll start with pillar number 1. Actually, maybe I'll tell you what all of them are first thing. There are expectations, classroom expectations, building classroom community, differentiation within the subjects, routines and organization, and social emotional learning. And all of those things together, I believe, bring you to creating an environment of student engagement and motivation. So classroom expectations, I start out with these on the first day, and I want to walk through that with you. Our kids feel safe when they know what's expected of them. And some of them have truthfully never been taught expectations. And even if they have, they need to know what the expectations are in your classroom. What's the best part about this is I like to sit them down and say to them, hey, how would you guys like to be treated in this classroom? And I get into more of that in separate blog posts and in future videos. But first of all, we set classroom expectations, and then they learn that I support them in meeting those. And I am a firm believer in affirmations and positive behavioral support. But yeah, there are consequences if they're not taking care of each other the way we agreed we would take care of each other. But they're loving consequences, and they're supportive consequences, and they're presented in a way that helps the child know that you're just doing it so they can be their best them. And you work together on those, and they always come out being positive. Community. We build a lot of classroom community. You can put classroom community into almost any subject, and it's so important. I have been told that one thing the kids in my class, from a colleague, one thing that she knew that all the kids in my classroom felt was that they were part of the team. And that's intentional. Every child in your class has something to offer. And as a teacher, we just get to reveal that and make them feel great about the things that they did and that they have and that they can show and they can share. And that's why I love classroom management, frankly, because I love watching the kids grow and bloom. I love hearing from the parents about the changes that they're seeing in the kids. And I love just the feedback that I get from the kids through their joy and excitement, engagement, and their investment in what I'm asking them to do. They trust me. Okay, so differentiation. This is a big topic for a lot of teachers, and it's essential because the kids who struggle, they already feel so bad. They're confused. Why are they struggling when everybody else gets it? And as for the kids that are strong academically, because we tend to focus on academics, so those kids that are strong academically can get a little cocky or arrogant or just bored, and sometimes they're kind-hearted and want to help the other people, but still they deserve so much more. What I want to do is differentiate so we value all the gifts that all the students bring. The high academic students, the kind students, the thoughtful students, the servant-hearted students, all of those gifts are valued, essential, and so many more gifts. And so I believe in differentiation, and because it works into those gifts, within differentiation, it's not about lowering the expectations for our students who struggle and just giving hard work to the higher level students or expecting them to help out their peers. Differentiation is about creating engagement through using tools and videos and group collaborative time, challenging students to have a growth mindset. It's about creating different levels of challenge within the content and making it more complex, less complex, giving students more time. How do you make it open-ended for time? And how do you provide open-ended prompts for writing and give them an opportunity to do their best? How do you set them up for success? Routines and organization are huge because your kids, they like the stability of a classroom day. They like to know what's coming next. So do I, frankly. And I'm ADHD, so without organization, we're all hooped. We're just entirely hooped. So organization, if you came into my classroom, Monday bucket, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and they were set out. During COVID, I realized that I needed 2 sets of buckets. Don't ask me why I needed during COVID. Maybe that'll come up in a future point. Anyways, routines and organizations, kids need them, we need them, and they can be an awful lot to get off the ground. I know that there have been times when I just felt a weight on my back, but once I got those into place, life was easier. And you see, when everything's in a little bucket, organized from top to bottom with the first thing and the next thing, everything else is easy because you just grab the next thing and so you can relax and focus on the kids and focus on that community, focus on the individuals, focus on the children, because you're not teaching curriculum, people, you're teaching children. And so when you're organized, you have the freedom to teach the children. Okay? And when they have the routines down pat and they know what their expectations are and they know what it looks like and they know that you'll support those expectations, then the routines are a breeze, transitioning's a breeze, everything's a breeze, so you can teach the children. And you're organized so you can teach the children, everything works. Social emotional learning. Well, none of this happens unless they've learned some social self-regulation, unless they've learned to be kind to each other, because we do a lot of random partners in our class. And if we're going to be kind to each other and share nicely, which is an expectation they always request, if they're going to do that, then they need some practice, some instruction. They need to be taught about compassion and patience and understanding. They need to laugh. They need to know they're safe to fail. They need to know they're safe to share. They know that somebody's got their back if somebody else is bullying the pencil out of their hand. And in truth, I don't get to see a lot of bullying in my class because of how we handle conflict resolution and sitting down and talking and problem solving together, which is a part of social emotional learning. Altogether, when you put these things together, what I see is a lot of student engagement and very motivated kids. There's nothing like the first time your class cheers when you say it's time for math, because historically that's not a favorite subject. There is great excitement when you have students beg for time to continue writing their story and taking a December story right through till the end of January, because you see the quality of work is so high. And because you're organized enough that you've got something else for everybody else to do that's on topic, that's real work, and that they can do it because you've created the organization. There's nothing like seeing students motivated because they know that you've differentiated and they're safe to do their best, because you're not going to give them work that's going to put them to sleep because there's no challenge. You're not going to make them always babysit the other kid, or you're not going to make them sit and feel insecure beside somebody else when they can't do it. They're motivated because they know you're safe, and they're safe, and that you will work with them and support them, and you will encourage them for doing their best, because everybody's best is different. And at the end of the day, when you've done all of this and you've worked with your students, I mean, I was always happy to close the door behind them. It was always like, because it's a lot of work. Teaching is a lot of work, but I loved it. And sometimes that's the hard part, is justifying how you can be so exhausted when they walk out the door and still love it so much. But anyways, when they walk out the door and they give you hugs and they're excited, and some of them hang around because they want to talk to you and they make excuses, and it's like 15 minutes later and they're still getting on their snow boots. Yeah, in Canada here, lots of snow. There's nothing like them wanting to do that. And the cards that I get from students, my favorite one of my favorite ones probably, was the one from a very able, confident little girl who said, "You made me brave." And I thought, wow, girl, you were brave before you met me. But I'm grateful to know that what we worked on together had that impact. So anyways, thank you for visiting me here. This is my first one, so kind of off the cuff, but I wanted to get this going because I'm excited to meet with you. Please check out my blog at www.engagingcuriosity.ca. You will also find below that there's a link for downloading a free checklist on classroom management. It's also available to download through my website on my blog, every page of my blog. This checklist is an encouragement for you. It gives you my 5 pillars, it mentions my 5 pillars, and the checklist is so that you can see what you're already succeeding at doing in the classroom, and then it gives you an idea and an opportunity to set your next goal. You won't get it all right away if you're struggling with classroom management and you're not sure where to go. You won't get it started all right away. And you'll hear my stories. You'll hear my stories of the struggles that I've had and the challenges that I've faced and how I learned and grew from those. But the checklist is so you can congratulate yourself on what you're already doing and look at the bite that you think you can take next. And there's even a spot to create short-term and long-term goals. And I encourage you to check that out and visit me at Engaging Curiosity. All right, thanks so much for visiting, and I hope you join me again soon. Apparently, I'm supposed to ask you to like and subscribe. Brand new at this, but I would invite you to do that too. See you soon.